All right, it is push day. It is week 6 of the 20-week cut, and day 1 means push. We're doing push, pull legs. Push, pull legs. That's the type of workout we're doing. The push workout that we happen to be doing is dumbbell bench, incline bench, narrow bench, and then pause bench press. So yeah, we will just dive right into it. This is kind of like the first workout of this channel, Almost Jacked, which is supposed to be like a kind of tongue-in-cheek title, because I'm not a bodybuilder. I'm not on steroids. I do think I am mildly muscular, more than the average bear, but yeah, not crazy. So hence the title, Almost Jacked. And in particular right now, we're trying to cut some body fat. You see, it lost me. Come back to me. Yeah, we're trying to lose body fat right now. Let me see if I can get this to track me. All right, should work now. But yeah, let's see. First up is dumbbell bench press, and I'll be doing those at 95 pounds. So the way that I warm up is I just do less than that. So half of 95 is like 47 and a half or something. So we'll grab some 45s and warm up with that. Ugh. Come on. All right, 12's good. Yeah. And I just do a 2-minute timer in between sets. So once we get going, I'll switch the camera over here so you can see me a little bit better. But yeah, so I'm gonna do, my warm-up is basically 50% of the weight that you're gonna do for 10 to 15 reps. I do that twice, and then I do 75%. I do that for 6, 8, 10, whatever, and then whatever the fourth time I get on the bench is going to be the actual weight that we're gonna do. So that'll be the 95 pounds, and it looks like we've been doing 8 to 9 reps. So with progressive overload, I'd like to be doing, again, kind of like at least 8 to 9 reps, if not 9 reps on each one, or get to 10. We'll see how we're feeling. I am feeling this week I'm feeling small. Definitely, this is week 6, so in 5 weeks we've lost 10 pounds. So obviously some of that's going to be muscle. We've been in a calorie deficit that whole time, so I'm not feeling super duper strong. But at the same time, I do want to be following progressive overload to teach my muscles to hold on to that, or not to hold on to themselves, teach my body to hold on to the muscle that we need it. So we'll see how that goes. But yeah, just 2 minutes in between is the rest I like. It's optimal for me. Gives me enough time to rest, but then also keeps my workouts, if I'm doing 4 to 5 different lifts, keeps my workouts to about an hour, sometimes just under an hour, like 50 minutes, or just over an hour, like an hour 5, hour 10. And if you're like me, you have a family, you have a job, you have a life, shorter workouts are good. They help you maintain your physical fitness while still focusing on other areas of your life. And I've lost count, but I just want to feel nice and loose and warm. All right. Okay. Hey, I'm right here. Follow me. Follow me. This is the, first time using this new, fancy new camera. It kind of is having trouble keeping up. But, technology, right? It's just technology. So that was 45. Well, 95 is almost 100, and that 75% would be 75. So we'll just hit that. This is also for dumbbell bench press. I go a little lighter. I forgot to set my timer, but it's okay. I go a little lighter than what I would on like the barbell compounds, just because it's harder to control. Sometimes I do go heavier, but my typical strategy for compound lifts is to go heavy and try and shoot for like 4 reps up to 6 reps. You can argue the benefits and the pros and cons of higher weight, lower reps, lower weight, higher reps. I think the studies say that the optimal for hypertrophy is, somewhere in that mid rep range, right? Like 8 to 10 to 12. But honestly, again, it comes down to time. If I'm doing less reps, that's just a little bit less time. And lifting heavy is like fun, and it just feels like it shocks the nervous system, and I can see improvements in strength. And so for all those reasons, it's more enjoyable for me, and I like doing it that way. Let's see. From all my other lifts outside of compound, I do stick to that like 6, 8, 10, 12 rep range. Try and do especially like on like dumbbell flies, curls, all the kind of accessory work. I am shooting for that mid rep range, not trying to things where form is like a little harder to control. Yeah, so that's what we'll be doing. So we have one more warm-up rep of the dumbbells. We'll go to 75 pounds. I like these adjustable weights, especially for warm-ups when you're switching weights. Oh my gosh. When you're switching weights rapidly for like a warm-up or for like a drop set, it's really hard to beat adjustable weights. There's the timer. Oh. Now let's see if the camera can stay on me this time. Ugh. Oh. Gotta be just a little careful dropping those. We're losing focus. Come on. You can do it. You can do it, camera. All right, let's put these back and get the big boys out. Camera does not know what to do. But that's okay. I'll be back. All we're doing is moving weights around. The adjustable dumbbells that I have over there only go to like 80, I think. I mean, I say only, I know that's a lot for some people. But I like to go a little heavier, so I use these old school dumbbell weights. Come on, find me. Yeah, so I use these old school dumbbell weights that I got for cheap off of Facebook Marketplace. And I use this adjustable system from this Canadian company called Pepin. And the nice thing is the ends of them are flat. So, you know, you can actually like put them up and rest them on your thighs rather than the traditional adjustable dumbbells where they have big spikes coming out. And once again, I forgot my timer, but it's okay. Because the most important thing is that I feel rested and warm. I am feeling warm. In fact, I'm going to take off this sweatshirt. And I'm going to grab a drink of coffee. Got my little bit of coffee. I work out in the morning, so my drink of choice is coffee. Yeah, I mean, it could be, sometimes I'll also have a little bit of water. But coffee and the caffeine seems to be good. Let's move the camera over here and see if that helps us. See if that helps. All right, so 95 pounds, shooting for 8 to 9, maybe 10 reps. Let's see what we get. Whew, yeah, that's fun. Come on, find me. I'm right here. Like I said, first time using this new camera. Kind of learning what works and what doesn't. Maybe I'll bring it a little bit closer down here. So last week, according to my workout app, I did 8 reps, 9 reps, and then 8 reps. So I mean, like, really, if I just match that, that'd be fine for where I am in a deficit. But if I can get 2 of these sets to 9, that'd be great. If all 3, even better. So that first one was 9. So we'll be shooting for 9 on this next one if we can. But yeah, real quick coffee hydration. I've never really filmed a workout all the way through, and especially not talked all the way through. That's one thing I'm realizing is I'm forgetting my timer and I'm talking a lot, and so the breaks aren't feeling quite as restful. So that's an interesting thing. But yeah, and I know I already mentioned it, I'll go over it again. The plan is to lose 40 pounds in 20 weeks essentially. So I started, 5 weeks ago. I started in late October 20th, I think. We're 5 weeks in. I've already lost 10 pounds. So we're on track, 2 pounds per week. And we still have, 15 weeks to go. So that puts us at the beginning of March is the goal. The reason I picked that is because my work decided to have a offsite in Florida that week. And so I thought that was a good goal. I sometimes struggle with discipline unless I have a very tangible, concrete deadline or goal or expectation. And so that was just an excuse really to use that. And then my family, I'm going to take them to Disney World after that. The kids don't know yet. We're going to tell them at Christmas, so don't tell them. But so I figured I'll lose, all this weight in 20 weeks, and then I'll gain it all back in 2 weeks. That's how it goes, right? Vacations. All right. Here we go. Eight. Whew. Cool. Now all I have to do is get 8 on the last one, and I'll be doing okay. 9 would be better, but yeah. Yeah, and you can see, if I were to, it's just really hard just to move these weights around. If I were to go for high weight, low reps, I'd be looking at, I don't know, probably 130 or something, or I think that would match what I'm doing on barbell bench press. And then, it's almost 40 more pounds than what I'm doing right now. And it's already kind of hard to move these around. You just have to move, you've got to drop them without dropping them too hard, because I don't want to break my adapters. So yeah, I mean, obviously if I was stronger, that wouldn't be an issue, but then if I was stronger, then I'd want to do more than 140. I think the problem exists at any level. But it's still a good workout. I really like the dumbbell bench press. I like to alternate between, regular bench press and dumbbell, just for the individual, just to get the individual sides working and the additional stability that's required. It's using some other muscles and stuff. And so I find that it's kind of like a positive reinforcement. What I do on dumbbell bench press helps with barbell bench press, and the strength that I get on barbell bench press helps with dumbbell bench press. So that's nice. 15 seconds, gonna grab coffee real quick. All right, we've got one more of these. We're shooting for 8. 9 would be fan-freaking-tastic. 8 would be satisfactory. By the way, I'm going as close to failure as I can responsibly go alone. I don't have anyone else here. I don't want to damage my equipment, so I basically go. If I feel like I've got, basically what I feel like if mentally I probably couldn't get another one. So sometimes I do hit failure, and I guessed wrong. And sometimes I maybe undershoot it, so maybe 1 or 2 reps left in the tank. Sometimes 0 reps, but just pushing as close to failure as I can responsibly is what I'm shooting for. Oh. Eight. Oh. I don't know if you can see it there, but yeah. Number 8 there was, I know, number 8 was like starting to really struggle. Follow me. Come on. Here I am. Here I am. Yeah, number 8, I was like, really wanted to get it. Maybe I could have tried for number 9. I think it's probably like 50-50 whether I would have actually gotten it. So I don't know, would that have been responsible? You know, maybe not, because I probably would have had to drop these pretty hard and maybe wouldn't have gotten it up all the way anyway. These get loose when I drop them a little bit, so I have to tighten them a little bit before putting them away. But yeah, now obviously these workouts are part of it. But when I first started working out with the goal of like losing weight, I realized how big of a factor diet is. And yeah, I mean, if you are coming in to lifting thinking you can just lift and eat whatever you want, yeah, I'm sorry, I've got bad news. It doesn't work that way. I mean, you'll get stronger, but you're not gonna like lose the body fat and probably look as good as you want. You know, they say, I don't know why this won't automatically detect me. I'm gonna have to really do some research more on my camera. You know, abs are made in the kitchen, or revealed, however you want to say it, and it's so true. If you want to lose body fat, you've got to be in a calorie deficit. There's no way around it. No way around it. And of course, just like anything, it's a balance. You want to make sure that you know, get stronger and gain muscle, so you don't always want to be in a calorie deficit, right? I have not been in a calorie deficit for quite some time. And so I got up to about 210 pounds, which is about the heaviest I've been. That's when I'm back in 2020 or 21 when I first started getting serious about this. It's about how heavy I was back then. I didn't have quite as much muscle then, so that was maybe a little bit more body fat at that time, but still, at 210 for me, my pants are starting to feel tight. You know, making excuses not to wear jeans and stuff, and shirts are tight, having to go up a size and stuff. So that was a good sign for me that, yeah, it's time to drop some body fat. Now, of course, I could just go with, you know, could drop, I mean, even 10 pounds, even 200 is like not too bad for my muscle composition, for my body height and stuff like that. But I've been down to 170 before and really liked the way I looked and the way I felt. And so I thought, let's go for that. Let's shoot for that. And for those of you who are curious what that looks like in the kitchen for me, My resting metabolic rate is around, not quite, just shy of 2,000 calories. So, you know, about 1990 is what it is. Didn't set the timer there, but it's been a couple minutes. But I've been talking and I've been moving around, so I'm going to sit down for a second. See if I can get this to focus on me again. Put this up here, see if that works. Come on. So yeah, 1990 or about 2000 is my resting metabolic rate. So when you factor in my workouts, which are 4 to 5 days a week of, you know, resistance training, probably a multiplier of 1.5 or so. 1.4 would be on the low side, 1.6 would be a little bit on the higher side. That puts me about 2,900 calories per day for maintenance. I lift this and we'll pick back up on the calories. Whoa. 5. And I know I didn't say it, but I think on this I'm shooting for 5. Yeah, looks like last week I did 4s for all of this, so 5. Even just doing it once will be good. How's this doing on tracking my face? Not great. Not great. Coffee. So, it's almost ridiculous at this point. Come on, man. Come on, you've got it. You've got it. I'm right here. So 2,900 calories for maintenance. You know, if I were being really conservative, if I wanted to maintain as much muscle as possible and do like a slow cut, a half pound, I'd have to look it up. I forget what it is. I mean, that's like, you only have to drop like 200 to 300 calories a day, right? For a pound, 500 calories. So I'd be looking at like 2,400 calories a day, which is, honestly, it's just like very doable. So what I'm doing is I'm at 1,000 calories deficit. So I'm shooting for 1,800 and 1,900 calories on average. And for me, the way that works is my weekends tend to be a little bit higher calorie, so, you know, just less of a routine and whatnot. So on the weekdays I shoot for a little bit lower. So in my food tracking app, I shoot for like 1,600, that's the target, knowing that I'm probably going to make some kind of decision that puts me at 1,700 or 1,800. But if I hit 1,600, great, because that means I have more leeway on the weekends. And then for protein, I've realized I haven't been getting as much protein as I needed. And that's going to be really important. Like, after, you know, these first 10 pounds, you know, probably a little bit easier to burn body fat. But as the cut goes on, as metabolism catches up, it's going to be more important for me to up my protein so that I'm holding on the muscle a little bit better. So I'm shooting for like 180 grams, plus or minus. If I don't hit it, I don't hit it. You know, it's not a huge deal, but 180 grams is really that 1.2 grams per pound of lean body mass. So if I'm 200 pounds now, and if I'm 200 pounds and I'm about 20% body fat, then, you know, 160 pounds of lean body mass, 1.2, 1 times 1.2, 180. So really like 160 would be 1 gram of protein per lean body mass pound. And that's fine, but like 1.2 is like that chef's kiss kind of area. Now, it is kind of difficult to get 180 grams of protein on only 1,600 calories. I say like, I mean, relatively difficult. Like if you're only eating chicken and egg whites and, you know, like protein powder, like obviously it's easy, but if you want to have like any kind of like a normal life, and it gets a little bit harder, because even just the meals, like the healthy meals that we make, you know, they're decently high protein, but like a high protein meal might be like 35 grams of protein for 350 calories. And if you just, you know, if you eat only that, that's 10 grams of protein for every 100 calories. So that would be 160 grams of protein for 1,600 calories, which again would be fine. But like if you want to get to 180, you've got to be having that higher protein to calorie ratio stuff. So that's where things like chicken and egg whites and protein powder like really help. All right, I've been talking a lot. Let's lift some weight. Oh, I hope I don't hit the microphone. And I did it. All right. I'm just gonna do 4 on that and readjust my mic so I don't hit it next time. Where am I gonna put you, Mike? Be right back. I'm gonna grab a little accessory. These microphones have like a little magnet I can use to put it lower down on my body. Pardon this noise. All right, hopefully that is okay. I'm over here. I know you followed me out, and I moved, which you don't do well with. Definitely have to fix whatever setting this is on. So, okay, 2 minutes. We got 5 on the first one, we got 4 on that one. I mean, even if I just get 4 on the last one, we've still already, you know, gotten to a higher volume than last week because it was all 4s. So that's already good. I feel like I should be able to get another 5 rep on this. But yeah, we were talking about protein and calories and stuff like that. And there's lots of, you know, all this is online and stuff, and everything that I get, you know, caveat, a disclaimer, I'm not an expert, I'm not a doctor. Everything I get is just from the internet, but I like to think that the source, you know, I read different sources, and, you know, as the weeks go on, I'll try to list what some of those sources are, some of the people, the researchers or influencers and stuff that I seem to know what they're talking about. But yeah, it's all out there on the internet, but misinformation is out there on the internet too. So what I'm telling you is just what has worked, you know, for me, and what is generally backed by science, and that's, you know, generally a high protein diet. If you're wanting to cut body fat, you want to be in a calorie deficit, and you want to actually have a higher protein ratio than you normally do, because your body will want to eat the muscle otherwise. Protein helps counteract that. Strength training helps counteract that. And one of the things with strength training to help that is progressive overload. So, you know, if you do the same thing week in, week out, if you're only really giving, you know, like a 5 out of 10 effort, 6 out of 10 effort, you know, you're not going to see the progress I think that you want. You know, I'm trying to give like 8 out of 10 is really what I'm shooting for. I'm not a professional bodybuilder. I'm not on PEDs. You know, I think if you're there, you can give 10 out of 10 every workout. I'm shooting for 8 out of 10. If I'm feeling good that day, 9 out of 10, 10 out of 10. But I am shooting for whatever 8 was last week. You know, whatever that perceived, whatever that effort gave forth, I'm trying to do, you know, 1 rep more, right? And if I get to the highest range of the rep range, then I'll increase my weight. For example, on bench press, I shoot for 4 to 6 reps. If I get 6 reps, I bump up the weight by 5 or 10 pounds and I go back down to 4 reps. I mean, that's exactly what I'm doing here on incline. Incline it feels enough like a compound movement where I'm in the 4 to 6 rep range. First one I did 5, so this last one I did 4. If I got to 6, I'd bump this 205, I'd bump it up to, you know, 210. Well, really probably 215. I'd throw 5s on the sides. So, all right, let's see if this mic placement is any better. I feel like it's gonna be worse. Oh, please don't squish it. Right on it. Alright, well, I almost broke my mic squishing it. Ended up not going down all the way on the last ones just so I didn't break my mic. But lesson learned, just take the mic off. Just take it off for this rep, you know? It's not worth squishing a microphone. Alright, about halfway through, I think. I think I did 5. That's what I'm going to input. It'll push me next week if it's wrong anyway. Next up, we have close grip bench press. Close grip. So, similar weight, I think, although I think I've been going down to 185. So we'll do that. And I like to switch up my workout plan, you know, every, I don't know, come on, 8, 10, 12 weeks, unless I like really love the workout. I have like stuck with a workout plan for like 20 weeks just because I really liked it and, you know, didn't feel like changing it up. But that 8 to 10 or 12 weeks is kind of a good place to make progress and then give yourself a break at the end. So we're gonna go 185. But yeah, so I've been doing this plan that I have. This is, like I said, week 6. I may do it for the whole 20. We'll see. Maybe not, because might be good to get a little muscle confusion in there about halfway. Have a little deload week just to reset the body. But I really like this push day because it can move quickly, right? So you've got the dumbbell bench press, and all the workouts I do, like, they can be done, you know, at most people's home gym, as long as you have a squat rack or some kind of rack for bench and squats and dumbbells and a bench. But obviously you can do them at any gym too, right? So I like this one because these last 3 workouts, incline to I did this wrong, guys. Got distracted talking to you. It's all your all's fault. It's all your all's fault. Just gotta, if You guys are watching the video. What's this idiot doing? Doesn't know what he's talking about. I mean, you're not wrong. But normally I do remember to move the barbell from incline to inside the cage for regular bench press. Normally I do know at least that much. But, you know, if you don't forget what the heck you're doing and move your weights right, this can move pretty quickly because you're just going from incline, and then you've got your last two lifts are right here. You've got close grip and then pause. I've really been liking these pause bench presses. I feel like I've seen them help improve my regular bench press a lot. Now, this mic is definitely going to get squashed. So that there. And I'm just going to throw this to the side while I work. Alright, and we got 8. 8's a good number. 8 is what we got last week. 877. So if I can get one more at 8, that'll be good. Coffee. Now, lest you think I'm drinking just regular coffee. I mean, it is, it's just from Aldi. But at some point, I decided I wanted to maximize efficiency. So I started putting my creatine in my coffee, and there are research studies out there that will claim that the caffeine and the creatine counteract each other. I don't know. It seems to work for me. I definitely feel like I get the effects of the caffeine, and you know, when I first started taking creatine, like, it definitely felt like I got an improvement. So take my anecdotal evidence for what it's worth. Obviously, there are people more qualified to talk about that. But then I put a little bit of protein powder in, and what I noticed was the coffee was too hot, so the protein powder would like break down. So then I started putting in just a little bit of almond milk to help cool the coffee down. And man, it's like, it's just become my day-to-day, whether I'm lifting or not. It's just like super yummy. Just 3 to 5 tablespoons of almond milk, somewhere between 5 and 10, usually like 5 or 6 grams of creatine, and 10 grams of vanilla whey protein. And it's like so yummy. It tastes like one of those Starbucks espresso drinks, like the vanilla espresso drink. And I'll just drink it down to the bottom when there's like a little bit left, fill it up with more coffee, and we're good to go for the rest of the day. Drink the rest of the coffee black. Yeah, okay, where are we? We're on set 2 of incline. What I'm doing on close grip, you know, I'm not getting my hands too far inside to where I don't have control. Obviously, they're not super wide. You really just want them to where your arms are like, at least this is, again, I'm not an expert, but what I've seen work and what I've seen on the internet and stuff, you want your arms to be kind of close to your sides. And for me, there's some, on this bench, on this barbell, there's some texture right outside where it says Rogue, and that's kind of where I go for my index fingers. I like to get my thumbs like a little over halfway in between, maybe 3/4 of a way, and that is a good spot, what I have found for me, so that it doesn't feel like I'm just using my my regular chest bench press muscles, I'm using my triceps. Oh, come on, one more. One more. Oh, dear goodness. I really wanted that last one because I want to have more reps than last week. I have a little bit more leeway for failure inside the cage because I do have these rails on the side. So if I do fail in the bench, I have it at a spot where, I can kind of sneak out underneath it, I won't die. So I do feel a little bit more liberty to kind of just go for it on some of the things like that. Plus, at 185, even after exhausting my triceps like that, I feel like I can maneuver that a little bit better. But I mean, if I'm doing like 255, 265, obviously there's no way after hitting failure. So cages are good, safety is good. Incline bench press is probably the most dangerous thing I do here because I will go heavy. But again, if I'm gonna fail, I always know I can throw it down in front of me on an incline. I might break my drywall a little bit, but it won't break me. Starting to get a good sweat. So yeah, we've got one more set of close grip, and then we've got paused. I do a 2-second pause bench press. We can talk about calories. I know I was talking about what I'm doing, but I can actually show you. So obviously today, haven't had anything except for my coffee, which I can just add real quick. Let me scoot back here to Sunday. Sunday ended up being like a lower calorie day. I don't know, just we were busy or something. I didn't have breakfast. And I had a really high protein lunch. I had some grilled chicken and some egg whites with salsa. Some sea salt popcorn to kind of, while I was getting that ready and cooking, to get something in my belly. And then a protein bar. And then dinner was pretty light. Made some ground venison spaghetti sauce. I had some leftover macaroni noodles, so I just threw that in there. A little low-fat Oikos Greek yogurt cup and a carrot. And then at that point, I really didn't need anything else. I had this little peppermint chocolate pretzel star while I was waiting for something earlier. And also, I had the mini Quest chocolate chip protein bar earlier. So yeah, by that point I was kind of done. In the evening I was like, well, I'd really like to get some more protein, so I just had a protein vanilla shake. And then I just had these like little graham cracker bears that were left over from my kids and a couple of chips early in the day, so I just thought I'd throw those in there. But you can see just under 1,600. If I wouldn't have gotten these excess food from my kids' leftovers, I probably would have been about 1,500. But I did. I hit 181 grams of protein. But it's all thanks to my super high protein lunch. You see 97 grams of protein to 788 calories. So, egg whites, it's hard to beat. 24 grams of protein for 120 calories. So that's basically like a 2-to-1 ratio, or a 20%, I guess, right? So for every 10 grams of protein, there's 50 calories, or for every 100 calories, there's 20 grams of protein. That's pretty great. So, yeah, I'll try to remember to do this each day to talk about what the calories were looking like the day previous and for the week. You can see my weight, or here's the calories. So last week I averaged just under 1800, so that's good. Weighed in, is that today? At 170, 190, basically 198 today. The average last week was 198. And if I go back and look at, 6 weeks ago, you would see the average of that week was 208. So right on track. There's a couple of weeks where I didn't really lose much, and then I lost a bunch from the week previous to this week. So yeah, I'll try to remember to look at those things. I'll show some of these apps and stuff that I use too on a daily basis. Here's what I'm using for today. Let's see. We've got one more close grip bench press to go. This is the app I use. I'll talk more about it. I'll give people credit. I just don't remember everything off the top of my head. I just want to show you the tools that I'm using. You don't need anything fancy. You can use pen and paper if you want. But yeah, I'll stop that recording and let's get, that was a nice long rest. Maybe I can get 8 on this one. Let's see. Yep, that's all thanks to you guys because of that long rest. I don't think I would have been able to get 8 otherwise, but that was cool. So, I mean, if I got 9, I'd probably still go with that. I think for that particular lift, my light went out. After about 10, I'd probably jump up and weight just to get a little bit more stimulus. All right, now we've got pause bench press. For that, we're going up to 205. Just stick this mic on me real quick while I do this. So bump it back up to 205 for this. And like I said, this is a 2-second pause. And where this is really helpful is a lot of times you're doing bench press, get the weight down, and you just can't get it up off of the chest, and you get stuck. So this is designed to help with that. So you literally just cut out all momentum, cut it all out, and start from nothing on your chest. And boy, you'd be surprised, or maybe you wouldn't, on how hard it is, number one, and number two, how much of a difference it makes in your regular bench. More coffee. Thank you all for tuning in. If you're new to the channel, I am too, so thanks. My goal is to upload these and we can work out together. I might put I don't listen to music while I'm working out. I don't need the extra stimulation. I feel if I was going to listen to anything, honestly, it would be probably like classical music or lo-fi hip hop or something. So if y'all are watching these videos and you think, oh, some music in the background would be great, number one, play it yourself if you want. Or if you want me to add some to the videos, maybe I can do that. But for now, I'll probably just leave it empty, just in the spirit of that's what I do. I don't really listen to music while I work out. My wife thinks I'm weird. I don't listen to music while I drive. I don't know, I just feel like I have enough going on in my head. Don't need the extra noise. I do like listening to music in the car when I'm driving late and I need to stay up. It does help with that, I will say that. All right, I forget how many of these I'm trying to do. 5. I'm trying to do 5 of these. All right, let's go. Oh, come on. Oh. Oh. I got cocky, guys. See, I was saying I need to get 5. Tried to do it, didn't get it. I could tell on 4. I could tell that I couldn't get it. But really, I did it for you guys. I wanted to show off how safe my setup is. I was talking about how safe it was and how I had these bars. And you see, I was just able to let that go and escape out without harm. Safety is important, people. So if you're working out alone, keep that in mind. Make sure you've got something like this. If you're at a gym, like a public gym or something like that, don't be a hero, get a spotter. So we'll call that 4 because I failed. And like I said, I was talking about earlier, I can kind of tell. I could tell on that 4th one that 5 was going to be really hard or maybe not happen. Since I was inside the cage, I felt a little bit more freedom to go for it. And we will rest a little bit, maybe rest a little bit longer after that. If I can't match my reps from last week on this particular lift, it's not the end of the world. Every other lift this session, I have done more. So even if I just, only do the match or get a little bit, one or 2 reps less than last week on this particular lift, I think overall the volume will have been greater. This week I will still have met that progressive overload. So, long story short, I'm not going to cry about it. The stimulus is still good and valid and worth it. Check out my mug. Not my mug, my face, my mug. I don't know if you can see it. Christmas or Father's Day gift. It's Baby Yoda. It says Yoda best dad ever. Pretty good gift. If I had affiliate links and stuff like that, I would totally link to this mug and have you guys go buy it, but I'm not that fancy. Not yet. All right. Well, we got 4 on that one. Let's see what we did last week. Okay, last week it says I did 5 on the first, and I did 4 on the second. So I must have just had like a longer break or felt really good on that first one. So, I kind of overdid it there. Hopefully I can still get 4 on these last 2, and that'd be good. That'll be nice. This is 205. One thing you might notice, or maybe you wouldn't, I probably wouldn't notice when watching someone else lift, but everyone kind of has lifts that they're strong at and ones that they're not as strong at. I tend to be a little bit stronger in bench. Like I said, I'm only 200 pounds right now, and I'm doing 205 for pause reps. That's not to brag or anything. That's just to say I am a little bit stronger at bench press than I am at squat or deadlift. So it's kind of sad. I do similar weight between all 3. And so those are definitely areas that I can improve on. Squat I'm a little bit better at, and I can push it. And I've had some injuries. That's kind of, not that I'm going to blame it on that, but that's kind of held me back there. And then same thing with deadlift. I've had some back stuff. So I'd like to get those lifts up to the ratio that they're supposed to be. But that's one thing you'll notice over this, the course of this week, the next few weeks, as I'm doing it. The weight that I'm doing for bench is probably a little bit more impressive than the weight I'm doing for squat or deadlift. But, I think just being aware of it is really the only thing I can do at this point, other than also actively trying to work hard at those other things. So I'm aware of it, and I am actively trying to grow those other areas. I'm not going to stop benching though, just because it's farther along than the other lifts. All right. A couple more to go. Let's see if we can get 4 this time. Yeah, again, maybe I could have got 5. I probably would have failed again. But 4 felt good, so we'll keep it. For tempo on these pause, I'm doing 2 seconds, I said, but the way I'm counting it in my head, I'm coming down 1001, 1002, and I'm going up. And I come down so I can keep track of the reps. 2, 1000, 2, 1000, 2, 1000, 2, 1000. And then up, and then down, 1003, 3, 1003, 3, 1003. How am I counting it? 1, 1000, 2, 1000, down, 2, 1000, 2, 1000. I just changed the first one. 3, 1000, 3, 1000, or 2, 1000, whatever it is. I just say the number of the rep I'm on, but I'm using 1, 1000, 2, 1000 as the seconds that I'm counting. I don't know if you'll be able to hear. I'll count it out loud on this next one. I don't know if you'll be able to hear it with the mic, with the distance. I don't know what the noise cancellation will look like. But this is our last lift. It has been a fun, hour with you guys. I hope you come back tomorrow for pull day. We'll be doing deadlift and some other pulling exercises. Wednesdays are accessory day for me, so that'll be, right now it's shoulders and arms and core. Thursday is leg day, and then Friday is another accessory day, or if it's nice out, sometimes I'll do some other kind of activity that's not resistance training, i.e. golf, because I've really gotten into golf in the last year. And what I like to do is do 9 holes and walk it, so I get a nice cardio workout. But yeah, all right, last one. Let's go. One 1000, 2 1000, 1002, 1002, 3 1000, 3 1002. Oh, come on, one more. 4 1000, 4 1000. Oh, not gonna get it. Oh, not gonna get it. Oh, yeah. Well, there you have it. Nothing like failing on your rep scheme. But we'll mark that down as 3 and move on with our lives and call it a good workout. Thank you all for joining me. Yeah, stay tuned. If there's anything that you have questions about or anything that you would like to hear, my perspective, tools I'm using, apps, people I follow, or like yourself, let me know. It's all on the table. I've got an hour to talk about it as I work out. So see you next time. Real quick, after the workout, I figured you might want to see progress photos. So this is where I am, week 6, day 1, after push day. So I am doing a little bit of a pump on, but yeah. So looking to lose, this is the stuff they're looking to lose. I'm not the world's greatest poser, but this will give an idea. So yeah, we'll just kind of keep up on these progress reports and you'll see how we're doing.